Okay. Hello, everyone. I hope you all are doing well. So, today we are going to right now talk about the consent in a relationship with Chandresh. Hi, welcome, Chandresh, to yet another session of how to build a healthy sexual relationship with consent and desire. I hope you are doing well.
I'm doing well. Thanks for the invitation, Sradhanjali. How are you?
Thank you so much. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. So, Chandra, my first question I would like to ask, especially this would be in terms and would in the context of a male figure. So, how can a male, or firstly, my question would be, what exactly or how can we define consent in a relationship?
Let's just take the very basic definition of consent. Like it's a mutual agreement which between two parties for any kind of act, and like it is based on a mutual respect for each other and each other's boundaries. Like this is the very basic manner we can like define consent in any relationship, be it like sexual, uh, platonic, or a marital one. Like this is a very basic thing we can define as a mutual agreement, as well as which is based on respect for the person as well as their boundaries.
Okay. So now I think that to ensure a consent in any sort of relationship, there might be certain steps which needs to be followed. So could you please explain the steps, or how can a male partner especially explore the steps?
Like in any kind of relationship, beats any kind of relationship, like the first part is not about the consent area. The first part which I think which comes in terms of step are clear and defined boundaries with each other, like be it the personal space of the partner, or be it certain items which are not allowed to be touched or used maybe. When a person is willing to respect the other person's boundaries and follow them, and be strictly is able to maintain their own boundaries and work with them, they get a uh, sense that these boundaries are not to be like broken. And when a person understands this, that's when they are able to move on to the second step. That is clear and very very strengthened bound consent. Like in any kind of relationship, like usually uh, consent is usually like when we talk in terms of the English language, it's either implied or explicit. Implied comes in terms of that it is like like one person thinks that there was, but that's not something which is beneficial, or even something a male should do or take in consideration in any kind of relationship. Explicit consent is the one which is spoken or verbalized, at least if not on like paper, like this in terms of like it's not some kind of employment agreement that it will be on paper, but in any kind of relationship, be it during the just a simple act of kissing or intimate acts such as sex, the consent should always be verbalized. Like it should not be on a very like detailed one, like can we have, i I want to have sex with you, and I want to do this, but it can be just as simple as would you like to have sex. Like it there comes a time in any relationship when it becomes clear with both the partners that there is a bit of a sexual intention, but it comes on both the partners to do, convey, and be clear with the consent. And one of the most simpler things I say is to have a regular check-in with each other, like regularly wa- uh, be thorough with it. Like do you want to do it? Like sometimes one of the partner might not be in the mood, or let's say mental state to be part of that act, or actually like take pleasure or out of it, or be able to give that pleasure to the other partner. So in these regular check-ins will help make sure that this kind of situations, there is something they can like actually talk about, and like it will deepen their relationship. Because of these regular check-ins, they will get to know about the partner a bit more. And the second thing I think is use of clear and open languages, and like be clear with the comfort level with the partners. Like talk about it, be open, and be comfortable enough to consider them mature, and understanding that they will understand why we are refusing consent for this at this time, or maybe why are we asking for consent during it, or like before it, not during it. It's supposed to be asked before. That's like mistake on my end. It's something to be asked before, and both partners are usually mature enough to understand that they are supposed to be there. And not just this, they should always establish a signal or a safe word to show the sign of discomfort. Like it's something a large amount of people use during sexual intercourse, that they have a safe word which they use. The same thing can be used in terms of consent. Like they might be one of the partner might be comfortable with just cuddling, and the other acts, and the other partner might be trying to initiate something more, but one of the partner can use a safe word or the safe sign, and they both can like stop it at that moment. These are some simple steps I think can be used.
Okay, okay. Now, as you were talking about open communication and the first steps in and open communication and languages, so what are the techniques to be used for open communication and languages in case of boundaries and consent?
I'll say be concise. Just for example, like one of the partner doesn't like some form, or for example, like one of the partner doesn't like that the other partner uses their t-shirts. So let's take this an example. The most simpler form would be, in terms of language, be concise and clear. Please do not wear my t-shirts. And second thing would be to offer an alternative. Like, please do not wear my t-shirts. If you want, I can get you the same. Like, this is something which is possible. And if it's a relationship, it will remain the same, but instead of an alternative, it can be replaced by that we can try it again some other time. Like, be clear about it. The more clear they are, the more in the number of words when increases, this will shift the focus more from the no or don't part to the other part. So be concise. This will help make sure the focus remains on the no part, the no or don't, and it stays there. I think like this is the best. And second would be to open up a bit more. Like when we are talking about in terms of consent and communication, we are supposed to be a bit more open with the partner. Like talk in a more open manner, talk to them, consider them as an adult, and let them know what is going on with you at the moment. Why is it so? And it's not like you're supposed to rationalize it, you're just sharing it to make sure that you feel a bit lighter from inside. Like whenever we share what's on the inside, be it verbally or by writing it down or in any other method, we do feel better. So be open and do share with the partner.
Okay. So this was basically for one side, as you were mentioning, that having a open communication and in a very precise manner. So now my next question would be like, in what way can the partner, like other partner, can support each other in discussing while navigating consent and having a new boundaries formed?
Okay, the other partner, like both of the partner, like whenever there is a conversation about consent, both of the partners need to be on the same page that today we are going to be talking about this, that this is the consent part, we are going to be open about it, and that as we talk about the perspective of the opposite partner, be it the other female, be it an another male, they whenever you're talking about that, some might feel that it can be a turn out for turn down, turn off for the partner. That's the reason they do not try to seek it during each and every time they're doing the act. But for some it might be as a more of a attraction, that the person is so sincere that they are trying to make us comfortable at every time we're doing it, and it just works. Like with the other partner as well, the same things apply, because both partners need to be on the same page, meet at the same distance about what they are doing it and how they are going to proceed, because it's not an act which is done by a single partner only. It's a act which requires two partners in unison and on the same page, otherwise neither experiences any kind of pleasure out of it.
Okay. Now, all this thing which you talked about, the consent, the support, the techniques, which this all thing required self confidence, right? Now, how
Yes.
to how to cultivate self confidence while it comes to a male figure? Because generally there are so many societal pressure that no male have to indulge in whatever the woman need, but it can be the male is not wanting. So, how a male can cultivate self esteem?
For like to cultivate self-esteem, the first thing I'll say is self-reflection. The more they're able to reflect on their self, the more they will get to know about themselves, what they want out of not just be like the sexual part, but out of generally each and every part of their life. When we sit down and actually reflect on ourselves, we do see certain parts of ourselves we do not like, and when we actually do encounter them, chances are we will be able to work on them better, be more open to consider them, even if they have been pointed out by others prior. But actually, when we self reflect, we see everything on a more clear and on a concise note. So when we do that, we are more likely to like move forward and take actions to like improve the behaviors which we like in ourselves, but at the same time try to work and change or replace the behaviors or the part of ourselves which we are not liking. And on the other part is self affirmation. Like this is something I always emphasize on, in the fact that in the morning start your day by a few self affirmative words whichever work for you. Like usually I start my day with I am enough, I will do whatever I've thought for today, whatever happens, I'll stick to what I want to do. Like use of the I statement is also pretty important for the self affirmations. And as part of self confidence comes, a person should be able to like start and have open conversations about themselves and their desires and their interests, like in terms of confidence related to a partner. As you said, a large amount of pressure comes down to about for performance. But when we let go of the desire or that like stress which is put upon a person to perform, a person is able to perform better. in the same way, when we are able to have that open conversation, that is the conversation about desires with the partner. That is a place of the person can like fully talk about that pressure to perform, that pressure to like help them achieve a specific a thing, to like do this for a specific time or on a specific method. But when we're able to have an open conversation, we are able to discuss them, talk about them, bring them to be a part of the conversation. And third thing I'll say in terms of cultivating self confidence in relationship is to educate ourselves about the methods in which one can improve their own relationship, and to educate ourselves on healthy relationships in general. Like what is actually a healthy relationship. We can educate ourselves better. There are might be certain things which we might be thinking prior to be not so healthy in ourselves or in our partner. And when we educate ourselves, we can then go back to the second point of open communication and communicate it openly, that this is something I found not to be so healthy in myself and I want to change it. Do you think, do you also feel the same? Otherwise it can be, I feel that this is something which is not so healthy in about a relationship, but it is from your end. Do you think we should work upon it, or you should work upon it? Like the more open conversation they can have, the better. And plus a bit of self exploration, like as we talked about in the prior one, which was about male masturbation. Like when they masturbate, they get to learn more about themselves, and they do build a sense of confidence as they know what they want. And same way, when they know what they want, they feel more confident, and that confidence will in turn reduce their pressure.
Okay. So, as a sexual wellness coach, what would be your tips, particularly for male who are unable to create that consent in a relationship?
To create consent. Okay, so first thing would be that start to work on your boundaries. There is no better first step than working on one's own boundaries. And when you are able to like maintain and like work on those boundaries of yours, you will start to see that there are times when you are crossing or are not following the boundaries which are set by your partner, your friends, or other people around you. And when you are able to work on your own boundaries, you will respect other people's boundaries, other people. And when you are respecting the boundaries, you will respect their privacy. And that's the time when a person start to think more about the consent part. Like, would she like me touching her this way? Would she like me holding her hand in public? Maybe she's not ready to like accept a relationship in a more public manner, because maybe she's not thinking to like take it on this faster pace or on this pace. So when we are able to make more of a boundaries, make them more clear, we will start to see the points where we lag, where we need to like build upon it. So that's a kind of one of the main areas where a person should work upon. And I think one of the second thing is to listen more and talk less. Like when most of the males, when they're in relationship areas, instead of a consent to be, when they ask, they are not willing to listen more, but they are repeatedly asking the same thing, like, would you be comfortable in me doing so? But the response you're getting, stop for a while, listen to what the person is saying, your partner is conveying to you, understand it. And if you think that this is something which is not something you, then you can and stop and then let them know about it. Be be more about it. Like first, you have to stop and listen to what the partner is saying in response to what you just conveyed to them about consent. Like with the same way as boundaries, as one creates their own boundaries, they see where and when they are able to cross certain privacy areas with the others. And the same way, when we stop and listen, we are able to understand the person on a deeper level or on a foundation level where we can understand what they are actually trying to talk to us about, and this leads to a better dialogue in the future. And in terms of consent, I'll say prefer to be like first understand what you want before you are thinking about having any kind of interaction section about sexual intercourse or a kiss. First reflect upon what you want after a relationship. Like what is it? Then when you reflect upon it, chances are you're going to be able to be more clear about the consent area. That would you be comfortable with me holding your hand when as you're inside the college campus? It from the viewpoint of a college student who is like might be his first time in a relationship, would you be comfortable with me holding your hand inside the college area? Or if the people are working in the same office space, which might not be like they don't want to bring out to the public, but as they are able to understand what they want out of it, they might be able to express it to the partner that would you like it if I am showing the same affection to you outside the office space, inside as well. So like the more we know ourselves, more likely we are to express what's on the inside and understand the other person as well.
Yes, very true. So thank you so much, Chandresh. Like uh, talking about the consent, particularly from the lens of a male, which is pretty not like it's highly judged because of so-called people think that it's still a male-dominated society. But male, I have seen even my friends or in my family, male do have a struggling thing with the consent and all. So thank you so much, Chandresh, for coming up and speaking about sexual healthy relationship and consent, and also the masturbational psychological aspect of from the viewpoint of male. I hope I could connect with you another day, another time with another topic related to males thing, and hope our viewers are also going to enjoy as I had enjoyed listening from a male psychologist. So thank you so much, Chandresh. I'll see you
Thank you,
all off.
Sudhanshu.
Thank you so much. Thank you everyone for listening to us. Thank you everyone.
Thank you, Sudhanshu.